Welcome to the Sigma Show, episode 41. It's me, Sigma. And before I let you know who is joining me for today's show, real quick, we just want to say Marty Sleeva's not here. He was supposed to be, but he had an emergency to attend to. So best wishes out to Marty. But we'll go over our topics before I let you know who actually is here. First up, Apple and Epic, their fight is not quite done yet. There still seems to be a little bit of bad blood. We'll talk about what has happened in the last week. Also, Marvel apparently is Marvel is doing the suing to try and hold on to the rights to several of your favorite Marvel characters. We'll talk about what's actually happening and what threatens that in the near future. And this most recent Nintendo Direct. They had a showing. They told us about some games, some new stuff, some old stuff. We'll get into what we liked and didn't like from that information. But joining me today to talk about these topics is Superman Jeff.
What's going on, everybody?
As well as Rexicon Jesse.
Hello.
And Ash Redux.
Yes, indeed.
Welcome, gentlemen. Glad to have you here. Quick shout out to Spaz who subscribed at tier 1. They've been subscribed for 2 months. Thank you so much for keeping that alive. Jesse, you want to try to throw something out real quick?
Oh, my thing on Twitch is messing up. I want to make sure we were really live.
Oh, yeah. As far as I can tell, we're live.
Okay, good. I was just getting the starting soon continuously and was like, I hope this is really working, but okay.
Weird.
All right, sweet. Now it's working. So just ignore me slowing everything down.
As always.
That's perfectly fine. I see Lampy in the chat as well. I see Honey Money in the chat. Welcome, guys. As we tend to do at the start of each show, we update you on kind of the latest happenings in the Activision Blizzard scandal, I guess, is a word we can use. We won't spend too much time on it today because there is a lot of other news. But the most recent thing is apparently the SEC, the Security Exchange Commission, has also basically jumped into the investigation. If you don't know what they do, they essentially make it so that the stock market can be trusted. Like they kind of look over all of the securities organizations and whatnot and make sure like it's transparent and people aren't, like companies, for example, aren't robbing people of their money. So when they get involved, it's supposed to protect investors. So all the people who pay money to Activision, the SEC will now go and try and get answers to a bunch of stuff to gauge how healthy of a company Activision is going to be in the future, because they're in a lot of trouble. So that does speak volumes as to kind of how serious this is and how Activision would very much like it to go away, but it doesn't seem to be the case. And following all of this legal stuff, we also get their chief legal officer leaving the company. You got like 3 lawsuits, like 4 investigations or whatever going on, and then the person who's in charge of handling all that says, you know what? I think it's time for me to be out. That doesn't sound like a good sign to me. So I just find that to be pretty funny and pretty telling. Any thoughts on this before we move on?
No, but I know a couple of the investors were already suing them because of
right. That's one of
they
the
felt
suits
like
going
they
on.
weren't being transparent with a lot of the information surrounding the harassment claims and the different lawsuits that were being paid out. Also, like they still, while all this is going on, they're still trying to release stuff, which is another thing.
Right.
So it's like, while you want to support the good people that are there, it's hard to figure out what to do that. I mean, ultimately, we might see the end of Blizzard, and we have to decide whether that's something, whether the company can be fixed, or does it just need to dismantle. Now, I, for one, would like to see things fixed, if it's possible. But that's also hard to say. How do we fix something that's been going on for years and to make sure that it doesn't go on any longer? We saw that they kind of like promoted a couple of new CEOs. So I wonder what's still going on behind the scenes to where stuff keeps getting added on. Or is it just stuff that happened before is just now coming to the light?
Yeah, I want to say it's probably the latter. Like it's kind of all their chickens coming home to roost. Pardon the analogy, Jeff. I know you're very sensitive about chickens when I bring up.
I like that analogy. That's Malcolm X used that analogy one time.
I think you're right, actually.
I am.
But yeah, it's like the first thing they could do, honestly, and this is kind of the easiest thing in terms of solutions, but probably the hardest thing for like a multinational corporation that's money hungry is to listen to your employees. Like they kind of listed out a list of things that they want to see happen to kind of help them feel better, to kind of address the systemic problems that are going on, and Activision Blizzard has completely ignored it still to this day. Like the stuff that they're doing has nothing to do with that list of demands from the employees. So this isn't going to go away that easily. As you can see, people are continuing to pick at them about getting answers to this stuff. So hopefully that keeps up, and maybe they're kind of forced to cave and kind of listen to their staff and stuff.
Right. Because
That
somebody's
would be
giving you
cool.
the answer and you're choosing not to take it, then
Right, because they
that's
don't
your
like the
fault.
answer.
Yeah,
Right.
like, hey, we don't know what to do. What can we do to appease this situation and fix it? Hey, do A, B, and C. Well, we can't really do A, B, and C, so I don't know
what
what we're
about
gonna
a
do.
pizza party?
Right.
But all right, we can
I don't
move
know.
off of the
Pizza
Activision
party
Blizzard.
might
Oh,
get
unless you had something to add, Ash.
Oh no, I was being ignorant and said that a pizza party would work pretty well for me. Honestly, I forget things very quickly when there's food involved. I'm so sorry. Excuse me.
Yeah, don't invite Ash to your company negotiations.
Don't do it. They'll come in with a hostile takeover. It's like, do you want some? And then just like slide over a pizza, and I'll be like, whatever you guys want. Sounds good to me. But no, I don't
Right,
have
and
much to
that's-
add from like we said before with the whole like in Lampy put it too, like it's kind of ingrained into the culture. So they definitely need to put more effort into showing their employees that they care about them and their work environment. I understand it's a business; they want to make sure the business doesn't, fall to ruin or whatever. So they're taking steps for that. I'm not faulting them for taking those steps, for some of the steps anyway, but I am faulting them for not at least showing that they're proactively putting effort into prioritizing the list that the employees gave. That should be their first point, and then worrying about making sure they're doing the extra steps for making sure the business is good. But that's all I got for right now. Yeah.
No problem.
Okay.
So we'll wrap that up and move on to our first actual topic. Apple has effectively banned Fortnite from the App Store, seemingly for a time of about 5 years. The reasoning is, since the court case has ended, Apple kind of won on 9 of the 10 counts. The only one that Epic got confirmation on is that you're allowed as an app developer to have a link to kind of a web-based outside the Apple ecosystem store, so customers have that option. Like Apple can't block you from doing that anymore. So Epic essentially wrote a letter to Apple saying like, look, you basically said that if we agreed to the terms, that you would be happy to put the game back on the store and reactivate our developer account. We're gonna do that now, just so long as you promise that you're gonna abide by what the court said and allow us to have an outside link to the store in blah 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 competition, blah blah. Apple essentially replied to them and said, well, you lied to us in the past, so we don't necessarily trust you that you're gonna basically hold up your end of the bargain. So we're gonna leave your account suspended until any possibility for appeals to the original case are essentially impossible. Because Epic is appealing that court case. Like, they didn't say it's over. They said we want to appeal and see if we can still get our way. That's still ongoing. But they still kind of asked Apple, like, hey, in light of what the ruling was, can we get back on the store? Apple said no, not until this is dead. Until there's no chance that you can get what you want, then you can come back in the store. And that is their current beef. So apparently the appeal process, like whether that goes through or not, can take as long as 5 years. So Apple does not intend to budge, it seems like, until they know for a fact Epic is no longer a threat on that front. And also, I personally think it's a little petty, and like they kind of get to stick it to them a little bit. But what do you guys think?
I don't feel sorry for either one of them. Like, I just feel like they're probably gonna lose some money, but they're still making all this money. There's still nobody's really losing here. Also, I feel like Epic now is like, you know what? The case is over. You guys won. Can we kind of get back in there? And for them to think that they're going to be like, yeah, oh, come on back. It's not going to happen. So I feel like that they should have kind of calculated it if they lost the case that was going to be the outcome. Also, I also don't see Fortnite being super affected by this. Like, I would assume that, they're going to miss out on the Apple revenue, obviously, but they still have Android. They still have consoles. They'll still have PC. Like they're not hurting for money. So
Well, they're not hurting for money overall, but I do
right.
think the player base did balloon because of the access to the game on Apple devices. Like that is a substantial amount of like their player base who was kind of like out of luck, like who either had to move to something else or who just couldn't.
I don't feel like most kids that's their primary console is an iPhone. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like they were doing that on the go or something like that. If they're playing Fortnite, I feel like they already have a console at home. Like if I could do a
I don't
survey
know
to see
about
how
that.
many people just specifically play on iPhone, I
Mhm.
highly doubt that. Do you know anybody that just plays mobile games and doesn't own a console?
Yeah.
Who? Name them. Name them. What's their name?
They're not, that's the thing.
What's
Like they're
their
not
name?
my friends. Like they're kids. Like a lot
What's
of
their
kids
social?
don't have consoles. Like they play on mobile phones,
How do they have a mobile phone? So their parents got them a mobile phone and pay
or
the
they're playing on
bill
their
every
parents'
month.
phone.
I
Like
don't, I
not
don't.
everyone is like a console gamer like we are. Like my house is filled with consoles, so my kid has those options. But like none of my brothers do. Like my oldest brother who has like three young kids, when they become of age, he's not putting consoles in the house, but he has phones and he's probably get them phones and stuff, and that's probably where they'll play all their games. Adam used to play phone games on phones until he got old enough to start messing with the consoles. Like that's what they gravitate to.
What I mean by that is like as far as like their market, like if there's 100 people, I would say maybe like 5 of them just play exclusively mobile.
I think that's
I
a
mean, they
big
might.
assumption, but
It is,
Yeah,
but
it is an assumption, but it's also okay. They might have a console to play Fortnite on, but when do they usually play it? Do they play like, well, yeah, I play it on my console like on the weekends for a few hours because it's fun, but the majority of their playtime might be on their phone. And if they have an iPhone, then it's, Apple.
yeah, I
But
think
also, oh, go ahead.
it no, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say something different. So you finish that thought, and then I'll
No, yeah, I was just gonna say like
derail.
people's home setup could be like different. Like if even if they do have a console, maybe that's the only TV in the house. So like yeah, they'll rather play on the phone because their parents or their brothers are watching TV, right? So like they can't monopolize that space. So like if they have that option, that's where they're gonna play.
I was gonna add in for that too, kind of what you were saying right there, Casey. When
Mhm.
it comes to like mobile gaming, because like I obviously have consoles. If my son wanted to play Fortnite, um, even if I'm not playing on my like screen right now or using my console, I probably still just give him the iPad and say, "Here you go, play on this instead." Just my son actually just like messed up the Switch too, so more reason why I would give him something that has an actual Apple warranty and would be covered for like $30 for them to fix versus giving him the Switch that now has to be replaced. But point is, I would be like, here you go, play on this, and don't touch anything else of value in this house. Thank you. So, regardless, even if they do have a console, they might depend on the parents and like their setup. They might just be like, here, just play on this. But same thing too, if they're on the TV. Oh, I kind of use if they don't have a Switch, yeah, they're gonna use a mobile phone or an iPad or something. Especially, I will
right.
say though, if you're gonna play something like Fortnite, you probably want to play it on like an iPad instead of at least if it were me, I'd rather play on like an actual iPad than an iPhone.
Lil
That's just
Reaper
personal
said,
preference.
what happened to the Switch?
Yeah, Lil Reef has questions.
Do you really? All right. So, for those who don't know, my son he's 4, going on 5 next year. But he is autistic, so he's still like trying to learn some things that, for most part, a 4-year-old would usually have down by now. So one for him would be potty training. He was laying in his bed. We basically leave him without his diaper on because he remembers I have to go sit on a toilet
Right.
if he doesn't have the diaper on. If he has a diaper on, he'll just use the diaper. He doesn't feel like moving, which I get that, but that's not the point. But he basically went to sleep with the Switch. He does that. But I wasn't at home. Usually, if he goes to sleep, I'll either move the Switch or I'll make sure he has a diaper on because I don't want him to pee in the bed. Well, he peed in the bed, and that made its way into the charging port, and it now has liquid damage. And the charging port for those are soldered on. I actually could if it wasn't soldered, I'd fix it myself because I used to work on people's phones in Sprint. That's no problem. Change the charging port, but it's soldered, and I do not have experience soldering anything. So Switch is dead, and my son is going to buy another one. So it's okay. He's buying another one, and
Wait, the 4-year-old is buying another one?
All right, so and also quick backstory so this doesn't sound bad. My son actually is a little dependent on the Switch. He uses it for like some emotional regulation. Like every morning since it's been gone, he will like get very upset, and one thing he'll want to do is play the Switch, which helps him calm down. We have an iPad, which we let him like mess with a little bit. He'll like watch those on him, but eventually he wants to play Breath of the Wild or something like that. And especially if his emotions are going crazy due to him being autistic and he's having a meltdown. Without the Switch right now, that's his main form of emotional regulation. He does get disability, and I will basically have to use that to replace the Switch he bought, because otherwise he has been really struggling these past like 3 or 4 days. And also it's the only way I can get him to sit down too. If we're at like church or something, he'll just be like, all right, time to get up. I'm going to go touch the drums. I'm like, no, the drummer is playing on the drums, but I'm going to touch the drums right now because of the impulse issue that he has and stuff like that. So it's like his next is going to be a Switch and the new Bluetooth headphones I was going to get him because they have noise dampening and help him with his sensory issues. So I'm just going to be like, here you go, Bluetooth. You sit in this corner because I need you to not run around and be extremely loud right now. So that's why I say he's going to buy one. But yeah.
Understood. And a couple folks in the chat trying to give you some soldering advice.
Really
I actually
easy?
do think, soldering is actually pretty easy. We had a shop class in high school where I learned how to solder as well. But and Lampy says, get an electrical temp control soldering iron and give it a go. You can't make it worse.
I can't make it worse. You're not
That's
wrong.
true. If it's already not functional,
it's already going to be replaced anyway. So it's like at that point, then I have a second Switch, and he can keep the one that he almost messed up, and I'll just keep the new one.
I'm sure that you can find a place online that fixes them.
Yeah, I was looking. There's some places nearby. I was going to call and see how much they cost too, because if it's not a lot, then I'll just do that.
Because I remember the red ring thing with Xbox 360. There were a lot of like little shops that were fixing them.
Yeah, so I'll just see how much people in the local area will charge me. If it's almost like half the price of a Switch, I don't know. That might be worth it. I might just get him a different one. I don't know, but we'll see.
Like, I would say like $50 and maybe like whatever the part is.
They like to charge more for labor around here. They like to charge more for labor. Because I used to do people's phones.
How much one of these cost? Like $10 less.
Oh yeah, no, the charger ports are cheap because I used to repair people's phones at Sprint, and we use actual OEM parts. Those parts themselves were cheap, but we charged a decent. If you didn't have insurance, you got charged like $150 for us to replace your charging port. Because it's like a common issue. People come in, oh, I got some liquid in here, but the actual phone still works, and we don't see liquid damage anywhere else. Okay, yeah, we'll just replace your port. You might be able to keep it working fine. It might not have gotten anywhere else, but it's going to cost you. So it's like it's wild. I'm afraid of how other people charge. Yeah, replace the port, $10 on iFixit. So it just depends. I might try to solve it myself.
Yeah.
All right. Anything on the Apple Epic ban? Anything left before we move on?
Pettiness is hilarious to me in all aspects, and I'm laughing. I always find petty to be funny. I can't.
And like you can still download Fortnite on your Apple device. You just have to do it from Epic's website, right? You just can't get it through the iStore.
Does it need to be jailbroken?
I don't think you can.
Oh, that's probably the same workaround that you had for the xCloud, where you couldn't play it through the arcade store. You had it redirects you to a Microsoft website, and you could play it through there.
So you can't. Lampy's saying you cannot play it at all.
Yeah,
because on an iPhone you can only download things through the App Store.
Through the App Store, right? Like that was the big thing. Like you can't sideload stuff on Apple devices because it's a closed ecosystem. Like that was part of like what they were arguing about, right?
It keeps you safe.
But also, I don't believe you can play Fortnite through a browser because that would be the workaround. But I don't think that's a thing you can do.
Okay.
All right, but on that note, we'll move on.
Oh, sorry. I say.
Well, no, it's the xCloud thing. Yeah, it's a web browser application, so that is why you can work around that way because you can play that in a browser essentially.
I didn't know it was on xCloud. True, fair enough.
But we'll move on to the Marvel situation. Apparently, several characters. Let's see if I can pull up the list of who in particular. But several characters, the estates of the creators are essentially trying to. What is the term that they used? They basically are saying that they can stop the rights that they've given to Marvel to use those characters. They're kind of, like, they're reclaiming the rights of those characters, like for the sake of the actual creators.
Yeah, after a certain amount of years, it reverts back to the estate, unless Marvel can prove that the work that was done was work for hire, as opposed to this person came up with this idea in their basement type situation. This actually happened with.
No, go ahead.
This actually happened with DC as well, with the creators of Superman, where they sued them a couple years later, in hopes to get the character back. And DC was able to prove, because all their checks had, like, on the back of it, this person is being paid for work for hire. So they show that those checks were cashed, and that they actually, so they couldn't prove that, yes, they created it, but they created under the umbrella of DC and getting paid to do so. So, but DC wind up, giving them like a stipend for the rest of their life, just because they only sued them because they were living in poverty, like they were homeless. So they sued them because, here's Superman making millions and millions of dollars, and they're homeless. But anyway, so it's funny because Marvel is using the exact same attorney that DC used in that case.
And isn't it the case that the prosecuting attorney, like the one who's bringing the suit, is also the same attorney who brought the suit in the DC case as well? So it's like, this is pretty much the exact same situation with the exact same players involved. And the last time I don't think it actually went to
court.
Yeah, it didn't finish out in court. Like, the suits were filed or whatnot, but they settled. So, like, this is another instance where it seems like that may be the goal. Like, they're essentially trying to ruffle Marvel's feathers enough to say, like, hey, if we do get this to go to where these guys reclaim the rights of these characters, you will then owe them tons and tons of money, and then you'd have to pay them tons and tons of money to use those characters in the future, in which case they would still get tons and tons of money. So Marvel may pay them off to just not have to deal with that. And I think that might be the actual goal here. But, like, what do you guys think?
I believe that, so here's my thing. And each case is different with different characters. I would have to check up the other ones. But for instance, the one that Stan Lee owned, he willfully sold those properties to Marvel for large sums of money. Also, a lot of the characters were sold off because at the time, Marvel was going to go bankrupt. So they sold off these characters to kind of stay in business, so to speak. So I don't really, that instance, I don't really know. But, like, a good example would be the G.I. Joe incident, where the guy who created him sold him to the company for, like, I don't know, he was given a choice, either $20,000 or $50,000 or to take royalties, and he chose the lump sum because he wasn't sure how it was going to do, and he needed the money. Lo and behold, that toy winds up selling like $5 billion, it's in billions of dollars up to this date, and he got like $20,000. So I would argue that person would then have a right to maybe more money. I don't know about the rights reverting back, but definitely kind of a renegotiation of what he was sold for. Now, I get that it's hard to, let's say the toy wind up doing no money. You know what I'm saying? Wind up crapping out, not even making, $50,000 or $100,000. Then you also it also goes both ways where, well, we sold you this for $20,000.
Would he have to give back his $20,000 or some percentage of it, you think?
Right. So while you feel bad for the person, it's like, it's hard to know exactly what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Well, I do want to, do you guys have something else to add?
Ask for more money up front. That's the notes I'm taking right now, is ask for more money up front.
No. That's the wrong note. I think royalty is what you want. You want continuous royalties.
Can I ask for both?
Points
I'm ask for
on
both.
the back end.
I want more money.
You should get both. Yeah, you should be paid up
royalties.
front for the work you did in that moment.
Right.
And then you should own at least part of that work that you've sold to another entity who's gonna then use it and distribute it or
Right.
whatnot.
Right.
Because imagine, even if it was a low percentage for royalties, something's making the billions of dollars, you're gonna get
That's
a
enough.
good amount of money. Like you're gonna be
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
But like
You
the
have to be
creator
like,
Turtles did. They got
Mm.
money, plus they still got royalties. And it's
Mm.
funny because when they created Ninja Turtles, they just created 4 turtles that looked exactly the same color mass and everything. Then they gave it to the toy company. The toy company sub-outlet it to Marvel or whoever it was, and they came up with the backstory for the turtles and the villains and stuff. And then the toy company kept furthering the idea of the turtles, like Shredder and all that stuff. But they were still getting paid no matter what, however further they came up with it. They came up with the initial turtles, that's kind of, so to speak, like blank canvases. Like, these are turtles, do something with it. And they already had the name or whatever, but they came up with everything else. But like everything that came out for the turtles, comic books, movies, video games, they got money for it. When it eventually sold to Nickelodeon bought them right out for like $20 million. And you know who they bought them from? Not from the toy company that invested in all the ideas and the villains and the backstory and the song and the cartoon. They bought it from the last person who had all the rights as the creator for $20 million. So it just shows that you can get both if you just gotta kind of go in and say, hey, I want both. And
Yeah, if your idea is
they
good,
want it
if
bad
people,
enough,
yeah, and if they
exactly.
want it bad enough, right, then you fight for what's owed to you. But I will say, because the question I wanted to pose is, that's all fine and dandy for the creator, right? But then this is actually, in many of these cases, the estate
The estate,
of the creator. So
exactly.
these are their heirs, their kids, their grandkids, who, let's be honest, they didn't have anything to do with creating this character. This
No.
character has gone off to the ether. This company is controlling it and giving it the exposure that's making it all this money. How much are the kids and grandkids of the creators still owed? How much control should they have over these properties that their parents kind of sold and worked with another company to get to that level? Because that's kind of what's happening here.
So, who's the president of Disney right now?
Bob Iger?
Bob
Before he
Iger.
leave.
Okay, let's say it's Bob Iger. How much did Bob Iger put into making those Marvel's characters?
But I mean, Bob Iger's job
As
isn't.
much as those kids.
I don't
want
think that's
the
an
estate.
equal. I don't think that's a fair comparison at all.
None of them are the people. I mean, honestly, they should probably just, at this point, I forget how old some of those characters are. I think they were like 60s and 70s.
Yeah, some of them 37 back then.
Yeah, so they're not in public domain yet, even though they should be. But thanks, Disney.
Yeah, they should be able
so-
to, but they're not.
But they don't have. Yes, they're using them as part of their marketing machine and making stuff off of them. But they are using the work that was made by this person a long time ago and that other people have built off on. They haven't done the work themselves. They are adapting things that other people did.
But then they own a company that's furthering the work. They own Marvel, who's kept running Spider-Man storyline, Spider-Man this. My thing would be if, oh my God, Stan Lee was still alive, was he trying to recover these characters that he created? And he wasn't. He sold them. He showed up in cameos for the movies. He willfully went along with everything. If he was like, hey, you know what? I changed my mind. I feel like I'm the creator. I should be reaping the benefits. And he was suing before he passed away, and his family wanted to continue. His estate wanted to continue that. Hey, it was his wishes that these characters came back home to him. Then I'll be like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. But no, he was doing cameos as mailmen and different characters in the Marvel universe to show that he was along for the ride. And I'm sure he got a lot of money for just those little cameos and signing merchandise and other different things. So
yeah, but if you can give a perfect example of the exception and not the rule, it's how they treat Stan Lee versus how they've treated the thousands of work for hire employees that have made thousands of characters for them and that they are still making money off of, even though they're not paying them anything else.
That's not Disney though. Most of these characters are already owned by Marvel. Marvel then sold these characters off to Disney and Sony. That's how Sony ended up with Spider-Man. They sold them off because they were going bankrupt and they had to make some money somehow. So like they sold the use of them in film and cartoons and that type of stuff to Sony while they kept the comic rights where they could still write comics on them and stuff like that. When
Right.
Disney acquired Marvel, they acquired the stuff that came with it. So it wasn't like Disney was like out, just now, have they done it in the past to people? I have no idea. They could have possibly slicing people out of money. Like, yeah, we'll give you $20,000 and we going to make billions of dollars off this character. But unfortunately, that's not the case here, where it's Marvel who bought these characters from these people who did it while working for Marvel and kind of sold it off to Disney, or Disney acquired them with the purchase of Marvel.
Yeah, I don't think Disney is Marvel rather. I don't think Marvel is kind of in the wrong here because they and there's a case to be made that the initial contract should be changed. Like it basically favors Marvel very heavily when they kind of pay people to make these characters for them, because then they can put it into their machine and then generate billions of dollars. And then the person who created it is kind of like, you did the thing we asked you to do. We don't need you anymore. Right.
Right.
So like, definitely something can be changed there. But on the surface, Disney / Marvel, they held up their end of the bargain. Like it's a thing that has existed, and it's an agreement that's been made like thousands of times. Like you said, these thousands of creators, like they do it all the time, and this is how it goes. It should be changed, sure, but that's how it is right now. I don't think that opens. Say again.
The law has changed for that. It used to be where any work that was done was considered work for hire unless explicitly written in a contract. The law then changed after that Superman issue, where it was not considered work for hire unless it was in the contract. And that's when
so they reversed. Okay.
Yeah. DC started printing that on the back of all their checks they issued to everybody, where cashing it would constitute the right that they actually accepted the terms of said contract. Like if you weren't gonna, hey, I don't agree with this, I need another check that don't have this on there or whatever it is. I'm not good with that. But they were able to. It was another case that came along for another creator of somebody. I forgot. I think it was Ditko. He was suing for, not really for the rights of the character. No, remember Howard the Duck,
Mm-hmm.
the movie. When the movie was coming out, the creator, I think, was Steve Ditko, if I'm not mistaken. Don't kill me if it wasn't. I have to double check.
We got the knives ready. So
is saying that they didn't have the right to make the movie because he was the creator. And that's when the evidence came up that they started using those checks as evidence that, hey, he cashed these checks, which stated that this was work for hire. They still gave him a stipend, like some money, just, because of all the pressure from like the media and stuff, but they still gave him money. But that was another instance of someone coming up and saying, no, I'm the creator. They can't just use that character without my approval and such. And then the whole work for hire situation coming up.
It's also Steve Gerber is the creator of.
Thank you.
The writer.
Lampy sharpened his knives, Jeff. He's coming.
Yeah, Lampy's trying to stab you right now. He says that's not true, Jeff. It's still considered work for hire if conditions are met under the law. Even if it's not explicit in a contract, the contracts tend to extend to work for hire conditions.
No. If you look it up now, originally the law was, because I unfortunately watch a lot of documentaries and stuff on this type of stuff. It specifically states that in the beginning it was work done was considered work for hire unless it was explicitly written in the contract that it wasn't. It then was later changed so that any work done was not considered work for hire unless it was in the contract. So like, let's say I go work for KC and I create this character and that's my character, unless me and KC, that was the whole point of the contract, where they're buying the character from these people. Because if that was the case, they wouldn't have to buy them. They would already be considered their character because they work for them. Point is with Barbie and when Barbie was created, they bought them from the guy Jack such and such. Now he was getting royalties and stuff as well, but they bought him from him, so that way they were able to make Barbie was there. Same thing with G.I. Joe. They purchased G.I. Joe from can't think of his name, but anyway, they purchased him
from Joe.
He was Yeah, he was working. Joe was working for them, but they still had to purchase him the idea from him. If it was
Mhm.
just work for hire, they would have never had to purchase him to begin with. Hey, you work here, you came up with that. Technically, that's ours. So yeah, we own it.
All right, so Lampy's citing some documents here. Under the Copyright Act, a work made for hire is one, a work prepared by an employee within the scope of his or her employment, or two, a work specifically ordered or commissioned for use as a contribution to a collective work.
That's not the same
So yeah,
thing.
I mean those are the definitions, right? Yeah. So
Yeah.
I guess it's implied that if you work for a company, if you're a Marvel employee, the work you do is considered work for hire. And then the other one is if you're hired to do a work, like, hey, I want you to make a character for our comic book series, that
Mhm.
again is implied as work for hire.
But you
Because
would
they're
sign that
paying
when you got you
right,
would
yeah,
sign that when you got hired.
that
So
would
that
be
that would be a contract.
true.
So it wouldn't just be, hey,
So I
you
mean it makes
started here.
sense.
Yeah, you started here,
Yeah,
you work here.
yeah, it's
Anything you
not
do is
hazy.
yeah.
Good point. Anything to add, Ash, Jesse?
I don't know enough from personal experience. So I was like, this is all nice new information for me. I'm
Yeah.
enjoying this. Just listen to this conversation right now. But I will add to the question that you posed earlier, Casey, about like the
The heirs and stuff.
royalties, like transition to heirs and stuff. I understand like if in the whatever thing you sign, if there's like a set time period for those royalties, like if they just say, for the next 50 years you'll collect royalties off of your this work or whatever, and you pass away before that, then of course I think to fulfill that contract you still keep going to the next person, just because that's what you put. Honestly, I'm surprised they don't always just put time frames on it or until like that person passes away something. I'm surprised they just keep it going anyway. But I believe in like I guess what's the term we use, like generational wealth. I completely understand someone wanting to build generational wealth for their family. So you now could you still do that while you're alive and they don't have to keep getting checks for work that they didn't do after you pass away? I also think you can do that. Like especially for something that's big as if in the examples we're doing, someone was getting royalties for any of these characters. All these characters are huge, especially right now with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. If you're getting royalty checks from these characters, and before you passed away, or you pass away, and there's literally no money left for the well-being of your family, then you just did a piss poor job, and that's on you, because you should have money. So I would say at most they could keep getting the money for it at most, but I don't think they should have any like if that person had weight into
Like
what
creative
happens with
control.
these characters or creative. I don't think they should have that.
Because that's what
should
these
definitely
estates
be
are
gone.
suing for, right?
Yeah,
They're
that should be
suing
gone.
to regain those rights so that they have to be asked how those characters can be used. And I
If
do
they
think
were-
that that's a little iffy since
Yeah.
they weren't involved in the creation. Like they're not the
Right.
actual creators,
Now,
but they're
if they
like, this is my
were-
dad's thing. I want the rights to it so I can then tell you how to use it. Honestly, I don't think that's the
Right.
case. They want the rights to it so they can sell it for money. Like they don't care,
Probably.
I think, about
Right.
like the artistic integrity of the work.
Yeah, I would say it's different for when it's like so like I know for Bruce Lee, if I remember correctly, I don't remember if that changed, but I know originally you had to go through his family first before you made like the one with the guy who was in the Jungle Book who portrayed him. Was that Enter the Dragon? The one
You
because
can
that
speak
wasn't
about Dragon the Bruce Lee story.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, we just talked about it. So where,
Yeah, we
like
did
for
just talk
example,
about
before
that.
they can do that, they have to go to his. I forget if it was like his kids or something first before they could like get like, yeah, go ahead, you can make that movie. This looks good. You're representing our father well. But first of all, that is a real person, so that would make
Yeah.
sense that they would want that type of thing because he's an actor. People love Bruce Lee. People still love Bruce Lee. We want more Bruce Lee every now and again because dude was legit. So that's why it makes sense for that. Now for this one, unless you're in that same creative field, I don't think you should have anyway. Now if you're following your father's footsteps and and then in the art, whereas for like the actual artistic of the character, the story writing of the character, if you followed suit because that's what you want to do with your life too. Maybe not be like, have as much stake in creative control, but I can see them letting that person still be on board, like in the room, part of the discussion. But maybe they don't have that same type of control that their father did. But if they look like, oh, they took this seriously, this is actually what they wanted to do with their life, I would put them in the room.
I think that's.
I would say that there are circumstances where this would apply. One would be the Bob Ross situation, where his son hasn't reaped any of the money that his name has made, especially up to date. His name, the use of his image,
the memes, money for
he
memes.
can't use anything because somehow, I think it was PBS or the people that were sponsoring him somehow owns his name without him knowing. So they are actually, he's like, all the Bob Ross stuff coming out now, his family's not seeing any of it. They never signed a contract. He never sold his name to anybody. He never received any money for his name. He was just making money off the PBS special that he would do and the books he wrote and stuff like that. He never sold his likeness or name, but somehow the family can't use, and I don't know the details, but once again, a documentary. They can't use his name, his likeness, or they haven't made any money from any of the merch that his name is sold up to this date. So that I would understand them suing for control of his intellectual property, where Bob Ross, we all the Ross family. I think
he's a real person. Yeah, definitely.
Right,
especially
it's a real
person.
Yeah. So
I would argue against. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I like argue against me.
No, but I think as someone who, we all do streams, we all do entertainment-based things. You have a persona.
Mm-hmm.
You on stream is not you off stream. It's similar.
Mm-hmm.
It is a character, though. It is something you created.
Mm-hmm.
Bob Ross, the painter on PBS, is not Bob Ross outside of PBS. It is a character and a persona. It is similar. It has purpose. It is curated, but it is not truly that person. It is a character.
I think that
these characters that people make, I feel like should have the same thing. They are fictional characters, but they have the same sort of built from what you want as a persona does.
I think that would. I would consider it very similar to The Rock. The Rock was on wrestling, right? He was on WWF. But also, when you saw him in movies in the beginning, it was just The Rock or Dwayne The Rock Johnson. So he was that person. It wasn't like he could sell off The Rock and still keep Dwayne Johnson. He couldn't do that. You can't separate the two. I think that's where the difference is. For Bob Ross, he did like the PBS specials, but he was also going out to different places in the states he was in, doing painting shows for people and teaching them how to paint. He was Bob Ross at those presentations. You know what I'm saying? To friends, he was Bob. You know what I'm saying? Or to somebody who was calling him, they would call him Mr. Ross. So it's hard to separate the two. If I see Stan Lee, I'm gonna call him Stan Lee. I'm not gonna say, "Hey, that's the Spider-Man guy." You know what I'm saying? I can call him Stan Lee. And
you might not call him the Spider-Man guy, but a lot of people are calling him the Spider-Man guy.
That's true. But yeah, I see that's very similar, and I do agree with that. Like today's age, it would be hard to separate the two. I think the distinction is that The Rock is used in his name. He made it part of who he is. Like you rarely see him without that being attached to his name. Like it's synonymous with The Rock. Dwayne The Rock Johnson, that's him. Like when you heard him in Moana, you're like, oh, that's The Rock. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, that's Dwayne. You know what I'm saying? Like people know him by The Rock more than they know him by Dwayne. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with Bob Ross. It's like people know, oh, that's Bob. You see that fro? That's Bob Ross. That's Bob Ross. You know what I'm saying? Nobody knows him by anything other. So it'd be hard to separate the two to dispute either fact.
No, I understand that push and pull, because like some people are like Dr. Disrespect, right? Like that's much more of an online persona than whatever his real name is. I forget.
Right.
Because he basically plays or Sacha Baron Cohen, even that actor in movies is usually playing a over the top character, and in real life he's kind of a regular dude, and he disappears in public because of that, right? But we are talking about property in this case. Like, so maybe a persona can be conceived as property, but it's like, yes, property should go from, a parent to a child if it's that parent's property. But because these characters are sort of like tied into like, oh, Marvel owns them, but this guy has creator credits, I feel like that's a much more hazy delineation of like where this should go. Like, because the creator died doesn't mean that Marvel now stops owning the thing that they bought and have been using and marketing for like 30, 40, 50 years. And like now this person who did not have anything to do with any of that stuff inherits it because their parent died, and now can like do what? Like sell Spider-Man to like like a foreign like a Bollywood movie company, and then you get like like licensed Bollywood Spider-Man. Like, maybe that's awesome. Maybe we should see that. But it doesn't seem like that's kind of like a thing that should happen, at least not right now. But I don't know, it's a confusing situation. Like, I personally think that like an artist should retain the rights to the things that they create. But then, like Ash was saying, like if the kid is like following in the footsteps, like unless before that parent died, like that kid was also like there, like, and yes, that's nepotism, but like you pull the kid into like, hey, come work with me for the day, or like let me get you hired in the company I work at so that we're both actually working on a thing, and then he passes away. That's different than if this kid was doing his own thing, the dad dies, and he's like, all right, well, there's a hole to be filled because my name is on it, and I'm gonna now assume a bunch of control, and I had nothing to do with this. That feels a lot more skeezy to me.
That's definitely, I can see that being different too. Yeah,
I could understand, and I do kind of understand, where if it was me and I'd passed away and I worked on something, I wouldn't want my son struggling when something that I created is making billions of dollars. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, even though he might not have any part in it, I did. Even though I got paid for my contributions to the said property, I sold it to somebody else. It's doing tenfold more than what I ever expected. Now, do I have any legal right to it? Probably not. Should there
But
be
you
a
should have
moral right to it?
royalties.
Yes, but that's
like
that's
that.
if.
That would be the thing that covers it. You would hope that they
Right.
have like royalties attached to it, and that could get passed down.
Would be in the
because it's
contract,
just them
exactly.
paying them money and not giving
Right.
them control of like the whole thing, because like
Right.
they didn't have anything to do with it.
And that's usually what toy companies do. Like Star Wars, it was like for every dollar so they got 79 cents on every dollar. Every
That's a
toy
lot.
that for every dollar they get 79 cents on the dollar. So
Jesus.
no matter what, they always got some money from toys. Like, it was just and
Plenty of money.
that should be the case when we sell stuff. But unfortunately, a lot of times businesses don't practice the most moral. They're like, hey, we'll give you this money, or you can take, if the toy does well. Now, we don't know if it's going to do well. It might not do well.
That's,
Who knows?
from my understanding, that's pretty much never the option, though.
Hey.
You don't you're set up for, we're going to pay you this amount to make this, and then our transaction is over. You a lot of times don't even have the option. And because of gigantic corporations, Disney, Marvel, Hasbro, all that, they can, if you say no, but I deserve royalties, they could be like, well, I don't know if I'm allowed, what language I'm allowed to use on on this show, but they could be like, well,
it's a mature
jog
stream.
on.
Yeah.
Okay, well, they could be like, well, fuck off. And then they'll find someone else who will do it for less money than you. And then if it's successful, they can continue to make bank. Because they're so big, they have the ability to just meat grinder people, and the meat can't stop it.
It was a little bit looser
It's true.
back then and harder to prove, where I could make something at home and bring it in. I didn't do it on company time. I wasn't at work, and present it to them. Hey, I came up with this. This is what if they say, oh, we love that. What do you want for it? Not, oh, okay, yeah, we'll run that tomorrow. Thank you. No, that's not how it works. I did this at home. I didn't do it just now while I was at work. I wasn't on company time. I came up with this. I didn't work on something you had me work on and furthered it along. And that's what happened with, like I said, Ninja Turtles, He-Man, a lot of those toys where Transformers, right? Started with just the GoBots from Japan, and they Americanized them passed them on to somebody at Marvel who worked on the story, came up with the whole backstory, Decepticons, Autobots, Optimus Prime, come from Cybertron. They furthered it along, right? They don't get any, claims. So yeah, we created it. No, you added to the story. That's a difference. You did work on a project we gave you, so it kind of you furthered it along. Where the person who actually created it is the one who came up with the idea. So it's a very niche situation. But like say if you came up with something at home and or in your basement or in your time or in your car on lunch, whatever it is, hey, I came up with this. What do you guys think? Then that's a time, like I said, what they did with G.I. Joe, and you're right. Jesse, I'm about to call you Rexicon, Jesse. Where if someone does that at work, they kind of just Steve, oh, thank you for that, and we'll pass it on to somebody else to further it along, and we'll get back to you if we decide to move forward with it. And the next thing that person knows, it's a cartoon on Saturday morning with the property that they came up with, and they never received any type of compensation. And we've seen that, a lot of times. But honestly, I can't say I feel. Here's the thing. Just pay them some money and move on. It probably won't even go to court like it didn't last time. They probably just want some money. This lawyer seems to kind of like watch stuff like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you have a lot of
his bag.
If you've been affected by the peanuts in the Snickers, contact the number, and they get for a class action lawsuit. We get all these people who are affected by the peanuts and Snickers and go after this company. And because we have all these people and this lawyer tied up in litigation, most of the time the people don't want bad publicity, so they'll settle out of court. It's done with, blah, blah, blah. So this person kind of been watching, Marvel's been making all this money on Spider-Man, been making all this money on this person. Ooh, and it's been years. Let me see if there's anything I can try to work around to maybe I might not even be able to win, but the mounting pressure from,
I think that is what they're going for. They want that settlement check.
Because
easy cash win.
Yeah,
everybody goes home.
And then obviously the lawyer gets his 20%. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's not a bad payday for him. Now, once again, I do have sympathy for the people who didn't receive fair money or they're not living the best life. And what I mean by best life, I don't mean they're out here on a yacht and stuff like that. I mean where they're struggling, they can barely make ends meet, and here is Spider-Man's making all this money, something that their grandfather helped create. I feel like they should receive something, but also legally, if they sold it, if it was you and somebody sold you something, an idea, and you ran with it and you made it $1 billion success of what it is. Because remember, Marvel was going to go bankrupt. They sold off. Disney ran with it, Spider-Man, and kind of just it went up from there. Now it like the highest grossing movies in the world are Marvel movies. Like,
yeah, so everybody wants their cut. It's like, hey, I am tangentially related to this thing. I should be making some of that billions of dollars. And you know what? You should.
But that's not what you signed.
let's take it down a notch.
Right.
You shouldn't own the rights to it.
Yeah.
Because you didn't get it to $1 billion. Like, I'm sorry.
Right. Well, that's how it is. Like, we want to own the rights. They want to go.
They want the rights. Like, that's what they're suing for. Yes. Yeah.
They might not even really want the rights though, but they want to go for the neck. So that way, when you go back down, medium is we'll just pay you, right? If they just go,
more money than you even wanted. Yeah.
Right. It's like, hey, we want the rights. You're like, we ain't having that. So we'll pay you some money. If you just win, we would just want some money. Because they just want money. They don't have any legal rights. Blah blah blah. When you hear somebody wants the rights to something, you're like, let's whatever we need to do to get rid of this problem.
Because they either got to go to court with them and fight it out and risk potentially losing, which is like a really bad scene, or you can give them what they're after, which is paying them to shut up about it.
Yeah.
So that's what I think will happen. And it's happened before.
I mean, they got Disney money behind them. They really should just pay the people and get them a shit.
Yeah, it's the smartest thing to do, in all honesty.
They didn't want to just give the money. If that was the case, they want to just give out money, they would have gave it to Scarlett Joe and just kind of went from there. I
mean, but that's how the rich stay rich. You don't give out money. But when you're Disney, shut up and just give out the money.
Ain't no money like Disney money, and they got a license to print. I'm sure they have like a printer just printing money all day long, and the CEOs just diving in bills like Scrooge McDuck. Like, I don't feel bad for Disney when it comes to stuff like this, but there's also right and wrong. Like, if you have the money, just pay the people. Like, stop trying to hold on to every dime and nickel, because every movie that comes out, you guys make back your investment like tenfolds.
Some of them even
True.
more. Yeah, crazy.
Okay, so we may have
TLDR.
exhausted the Marvel suit
We go a
conversation,
little bit longer at this point.
but yeah, well, we can move into the Nintendo Direct stuff. We can focus in on, I guess, like the biggest announcements, because there were a lot of smaller ones that honestly I don't think warrant a ton of conversation. So I'll let you guys dive right in. Like, what spoke to you from this conference that you wanted to pay special attention to?
Well,
Go right ahead.
for me, it was that, Monster Hunter Stories DLC coming out in 2022 in the summertime. I'm waiting for that.
That's a lie. That's an absolute lie.
I thought it was Monster Hunter's Rise, not story. So yeah, it feels more like a lie because it wasn't even story.
It was Rise. You right. But Metroid Dread is definitely what I'm looking forward to. It was hard to
That
get
comes
excited
out
about it.
next month, right?
It comes out the same day the OLED Switch model comes out. I'm surprised it's not going to be like a bundle.
Me and Ash pointed this out. It was like, oh, this direct is to talk about stuff coming out this winter. And everything they were announcing was coming out
2022?
summer 2022. And I'm like, okay.
Like literally the beginning said 40 minutes of what's coming up this winter. I was like, no, it wasn't. That was like maybe 20 minutes of stuff that's this winter. Like
I gotta say, this direct was, I can't say I was really excited about anything that was announced. Bayonetta 3 I was excited for, but I don't feel like it looked as good as it should have looked.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way.
I got
feel like
stuff for that Bayonetta 3, by the way, but I'll wait.
No, go ahead. Let's get into it, because that Bayonetta 3 is a big one. Like, that game's been missing that game's been missing from several conferences for several years now. I want to say 2017 was when they first
it was
said it was the thing, and this is the first gameplay we've seen of it since then, and it honestly doesn't look great to me. But you guys go into it.
I agree, because one thing I said when we were watching is like, why do I feel like the Bayonetta 2 on Wii U looked either just as good, if not better, than what I was looking at on that live stream? I don't know, maybe just because it was live and because of compression or anything. I don't know, but I didn't watch like the actual uploaded trailer, so I should probably at least watch the actual upload trailer to see like graphically. But more importantly than the actual how the game looked, I'm here for the game lore, because as I was watching, I was like, why does her hair look like little girl Cereza Bayonetta from the first game, right? And then I remember that at the end of the first game, you technically create an alternate timeline with Cereza, the little girl who was technically Bayonetta as a child, but brought into the future. And there, when you send her back, you do the whole create a new timeline thing and blah, 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 where Bayonetta helps her be more brave and helps her like be like, okay, I can fight back. I don't have to be scared or whatnot. I'm low-key expecting this to not be our Bayonetta for the main reasons of the very first teaser was what seemed to be Bayonetta dying, kind of. So, or well, we don't know she's dead. I'm assuming not dead.
There was kind of a thing that showed her being at least injured in some fashion.
Yeah, so I'm thinking that for whatever reason, this is now that Cereza, the one that we saved from her timeline, back again in this main, I'm gonna call it the main timeline for us, with the Bayonetta that we know and love. And she has to be, that's why her moves were different. That's why she, her voice was a little different. The voice actress was on Twitter saying, someone was like, I can't imagine Bayonetta without her voice, which her as the voice actor. And she actually replied, you might have to, on Twitter. And the voice actress was different, and I'm assuming she's still gonna, because again, I don't think the main Bayonetta is gone, but I do believe that at least for a portion of the game, we're playing as alternate like timeline Bayonetta, basically.
Okay, interesting theory.
Also, at the end of it, you see when they do the whole date reveal, there's a cut on the screen. I am assuming that is Jean, because white hair, one thing, but she can change her hair. But on the end of her sword that she had, John on the end of her guns has like these little cat like figurines that hang off of them, and there was one hanging off of the sword too. So I don't know if that is the
Ah.
same John from our world or another one, because remember when Bayonetta went down, it almost felt like she got sliced, because then you saw like the legs basically came down. And just, I thought she might have got sliced. I was like, what if? So, but I'm almost 99% sure that it's not going to be our Bayonetta at first. That part, because she danced differently, voice was different, had the same hairstyle as Cereza. I think it's because she's not, our very
Okay,
hyper.
it's a good
one.
theory.
So,
Like it definitely
yes, I'm
pulls a lot of mystery and intrigue into
Good
what's
theory.
going on there.
Like
Good
the theory.
Yeah,
that made
good-
me more excited than the actual gameplay.
Hey, good theory.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Jesse, what? Because I know. Let's go to Jesse because Jesse is a lot more excited for this than the rest of us seem to be. Like, what was your take on the trailer?
Oh man, I mean, I still need to play Bayonetta 2, but I love the first Bayonetta. I think the gameplay is really fun, of course, but I think the character is just wildly hilarious in like not like ooh stand-up comedy, but like just so over the top, so ostentatious, so like just bizarre in all the ways that I'm like I'm in. It's cool. Sign me up. Like it's so fun. So yeah, I've been stoked about a third game because I just want more. Like,
so
so
just seeing that
I
there's gonna be more is enough.
yeah
Is what you're getting at?
yeah I would say so. And they brought like the giant freaking kaiju fights that are happening.
Yeah,
Like that
does
seemed
look
pretty
interesting.
cool. Also, I mean, even with it being 2022 and we're probably a year or less away from it, alpha footage changes so much.
That's true. That's
Um,
true. It's really
so I don't really feel. I also watched the direct on my phone, so it's not like I had the best quality. I probably couldn't even tell like that it was better or worse than other things. But yeah, it looked like it was still just as fun. And that's really what I was hoping for, and I guess I'll find out when I eventually play it. But I think it
Oh,
looks neato.
Fair enough.
One other thing too, when she went into like her Umbra form or whatever, she like turned into her whole body seemed to turn into almost like Madame Butterfly, which was like her main monster before the whole like
That's
dragon.
her beat and smash. Yeah.
So but instead of like how Bayonetta normally looks like it, hers looked different because usually Bayonetta's hair, which is basically what she's wearing, it starts to leave her body and she gets more skimpy basically as she's like doing those moves. But instead, Cereza gets completely shrouded by like this like glowing, almost looks like Madame Butterfly type thing. So I was like, and her moves are more like a pop idol versus Bayonetta is more like sensual. And I don't even mean it derogatory if someone means it, because she literally was on a stripper pole a few times for some of her moves.
No, yeah.
Stripper. Like she would do stripper moves legitimately sometimes too. So it's like, I feel like that too. But yeah, I'm excited for it. I really want to play it, especially if my assumptions are right, because that just sounds like it would be really interesting and fun. I don't know if maybe you'll even switch in between the characters as you go through, because I'm sure they have like slightly different fight styles. For the whole kaiju moments too, you can see it. This is my guess. This was actually a guess, not even a theory. But there is like a red, like glowing aura at the top of the head of the one that normally Bayonetta would be, sending to like go attack or whatever. But it looked like though we were controlling it. So I'm assuming Bayonetta was just on it, and like as you're controlling, because some people in the comments were like, "Oh, blah blah blah. I don't think Bayonetta's like where is she when it's going?" I'm like, I think it's right on her head, guys. I think you're not looking close enough, and she's just chilling right there. Like, all right, let's go do it. But I'm super excited. I think it's gonna be fun at the end of the day. I know people were because they just shown for Sony, right, for Project Eve or whatever it's called, which basically looks like
Oh right,
a
yeah,
Bayonetta
it looks
game.
like bad Bayonetta.
Oh, he said it was bad Bayonetta.
I think it
I
looks
got
terrible.
bad
Project
Bayonetta.
Eve.
I gotta look this up.
But
It's just like a worse version of what Bayonetta is going for sure.
But at the end of the day, I think what makes a Bayonetta game is, and which is why I'm a little worried if it is Cereza, like different from our Bayonetta Cereza, is because I usually go for Bayonetta's her humor, right? Because Bayonetta is the epitome in my mind of what a bad is. Okay, that is what Bayonetta is. That she is the bad. She's the
Why did you bleep yourself?
because I don't curse, but I like to put in the bleep.
You have a soundboard in front of you?
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
But I do think that is who Bayonetta. She epitomizes that, not just because she's like, I look good, I know I'm like the sexiest woman in the game, but I also know I will kill you right now. Like she did not just beauty, she empower. She's like, I am the baddest, and I love that she backs it up every time. That's merely just me playing a game. Like, oh, okay, here, oh, we just like basically threw this falling building at somebody. That's cool. I guess that's what we do. That's what Bayonetta does. So
It sounds like a Bayonetta move. Yes.
So it's just very Bayonetta-esque, you know. It just makes sense when she does it. So yeah, I just go for that because I love it.
Yeah, I know, Jeff, you were kind of in the same boat with me, like Bayonetta fans, but like this reveal, I feel like didn't hit the notes I would have wanted. Like, what was your take?
No, I mean I was kind of the same mind where it didn't look as good as past Bayonetta. Also, it seemed very Kingdom Heart-esque, where press A to respond to this, press B to respond to this. Well, I didn't see button inputs. That's how
like
the kaiju
quick time
felt.
events or something?
Yeah, that's how the kaiju fights felt. I hope it handles better than I'm imagining it handling, where you control her and you control the kaiju just by pressing A or something is just what the kaiju attacking. Like it just seems. It also seemed like there was a lot going on the screen, but the surrounding area didn't seem that big. And I get it could be different as far as scale goes, where you have these huge kaiju's, and then so it takes up a lot of space. But I remember Bayonetta having much more open room, like where and it could be just that area they were in with the buildings and stuff felt kind of closed in, but it felt very closed in to me. But I'm excited for another Bayonetta. One, for the continuation of the story. For two, I do agree with what Jesse said about it being, like pre-alpha. The last time we heard anything about it was just a mention of it. Wasn't anything else.
Yeah, they didn't even have anything to show, so they could
right.
still be pretty early on. But it's weird
Two-
because
two-
it's like, I don't know, 5 years later?
You get like a mention, then a cinematic trailer, and then finally some gameplay. We didn't get the cinematic trailer. We got some gameplay. So,
in counter to that, even though I'm still excited for it, when people kept asking the Platinum Games about it, they said we have stuff to show, but Nintendo doesn't want to show it yet.
Right.
So Nintendo was like, nah, we don't want to show that, or we don't want to show this. Whatever Platinum was presenting, they're like, no, we don't want to show that. So I'm also wondering now that they finally did have something to show during this direct, why was this what they wanted to show? Like, this is what Nintendo
was this
picked
important
to show. So that's why lore-wise, I was excited. But gameplay, I was like, all right, okay. But I also do feel like, too, if I'm right and this isn't our Bayonetta, that would also make me feel probably different just watching, like, combat. Because Bayonetta will, if this is right, she would fight different than alternate one would. And I'd be probably more excited to see my Bayonetta go crazy on the screen versus not my Bayonetta.
So you finished Bayonetta 2, Ash?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, because I started Bayonetta 2 and didn't finish it. Like I got pretty bored with like the opening hour or two. So I'm assuming it picks up at some point because I kind of put it down. Like, and I love the first one. Like, I played through the first one several times.
I enjoyed it, and that is what I'm going to say. Ultimately, I enjoyed it. I don't like to get people too hyped for something or too underhyped for something. Ultimately, I enjoyed it. I would play it again. That is my review.
I feel.
All right. Anything left on Bayonetta, or can we move on to something else in this direct?
Wasn't a lot to be excited
No?
about.
I mean, I do want to talk about, I'll bring up, I guess, the addition of the N64 collection. Also, they threw
all
Sega
8
Genesis.
games?
They threw Sega Genesis games in there, which I don't very much care about. I was not like a Sega Genesis guy. But right, yeah, it's not that many games, but like it's what they've been doing with the NES and SNES stuff, where like they give you this little bit and then at some point, like an indeterminate amount of time, they'll add more titles, right? This is going to cost more. They haven't stated how much more yet, but it's going to be a new tier of service added on to your $20 Nintendo Online subscription.
I hate it, but they're smart because they know people will pay for that.
I feel like that might have been the holdup because people have been asking for this for a time now, and they're like, "Look, we can't just give them access to N64 stuff without charging them because they're Nintendo."
Right.
But
I have
even
no
so,
interest.
even with the list of games that's there, most of them I don't care about anymore. I absolutely want to play F-Zero X, and I do want to play Winback again. Like, what the hell is Winback? It's like the precursor to freaking James Bond 007 Everything or Nothing, which was an EA game made by a completely different studio. But they literally stole everything from Winback on N64, and it's a great game. So those two games I'm very excited for. Everything else I've either played enough of or have no intention of going back to. But even
You've
so,
never played enough
I still
of
want to play
Ocarina
it.
of Time. How dare you?
Well,
You've
yeah,
never
my
played
I played
question
enough
of
Ocarina of Time.
is
How dare
Ocarina
you?
of Time the 64? Is that the remake with the
No, it's a
updated
64
graphics?
version.
Yeah, it's the
If
64
it's just
version, so not even the
If it's
remake
just
version.
64 graphics, then nah, I got no time for you.
I would love if they did an actual HD version of the 3DS remake.
Right.
That'd be. I would actually play that again. Yeah.
But I mean, they're adding online multiplayer to a lot of these. Like Mario Tennis is on there. Like that was a great N64 tennis game. Mario
Don't you
Kart as
own-
well.
Don't you own
Online
Mario Tennis?
multiplayer. I own the newest one, yes.
Yeah,
But
okay,
the
I just
online
checked.
community is dead in that game. Like you cannot find a match online in Mario Tennis Aces. I'm positive at least when this launches, they will be focused online playing Mario Tennis.
Me and Ash play Mario Golf all the time. I'll never see
All
you.
the time.
Me and Adam played Mario Golf yesterday.
I was at work. I couldn't play.
Oh, so
fair,
there.
yeah.
So where was you at, Jeff? Working? How dare
He
you?
was at work. Also, I can play Ocarina of Time online co-op with a mod. So it's on my computer. So
How does that
that
work?
does
Why
make,
would you play Ocarina of Time
It's
co-op?
actually listen. It's a good time. That's
I'm
all I
listening.
gotta tell you.
Listen,
That's a good.
okay.
It's a good time. I'm gonna show you some later. I'm gonna show you a video. It's a good time.
Lampy's asking Jesse, have you played Ocarina of Time?
Oh, I just replied. It's literally the only Zelda game I've ever
Play
played.
Majora's Mask.
Oh, okay.
Do it
There you go.
now. When it gets added
I
to.
fell off. Maybe I'll
everybody-
give Majora's Mask another try. But this is
finished
the original
Majora's
version, not
Mask.
the fixed one with like
Right.
quality of life updates, right? So like that might be a harder sell
Yeah.
for me.
Majora's Mask, I beat like 5 times. Ocarina of a Time, I think I beat like 10 times. That was my favorite game on Nintendo 64.
Nice. Yeah, I played through it once late, like in the GameCube era when they released like that special 4-game compilation. It had the original Zelda, Zelda 2. It had Ocarina of Time, and it had Majora's Mask. I played Ocarina of Time then, was like, this is still good. And then I tried Majora's Mask, was like, I don't like this game.
Is it because of the 3-day cycle?
It was. Like I got sick of that.
It's okay.
Having to start over and
Especially as a kid. As a kid, that was. Oh God, I was pissed. I was pissed off. But I get that. I can understand that.
But yeah, see me in F-Zero X when that comes out, guys.
See me.
I will destroy you in F-Zero X. I promise you.
I played F-Zero one time in life, so you definitely would destroy me.
I don't play racing games, so that is a guarantee. You will win.
I am with you on that one.
Man, I hope.
It hasn't been revealed how much this is going to be, right?
No,
No,
they
I
have not
don't
give
think so,
any
no.
details on cost.
I don't. There's freaking like 8 N64 games. Okay, that you could get other places, and probably have other places. The Genesis games, I think I own at least half of those already on Steam.
But
or
you can play them mobily on a Switch, Jesse.
ooh,
I mean, that's the appeal, though. To be honest, that's the only appeal of it is that you can play it mobily on a Switch. To
Man,
me, anyway, that's the only thing I got.
If they reworked the graphics, I would be more inclined to play some of them.
They're not
But
doing
definitely
well
not-
if we could do it.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. That's why it's not going to cost me my money. I'm not subscribing to that.
One day before I die, they'll do a full remake of Ocarina of Time, and Nintendo will easily get $70 from me. And there'll be a collector's edition version. They'll easily get $150 from me. It won't be a question. I'll look at my wife and say,
Wow.
I'm spending money, and walk out
if
the
they
room.
if they do an Ocarina of Time where Link dies in the beginning and Zelda takes over, I'd play that.
I bet you would.
I would
I
definitely
bet
play
you
that.
would. I hope she plays
play that
just like in
all
Smash. He
Play
be
it all
going
day.
to town. Jeff would complete the game in 5 hours.
Okay, fair enough. It's really F-Zero X that is selling me on this. Like, it's not a great deal what they put in that collection
Online-
at
the
all.
online
But
aspect
yeah,
being
I want to
included
play
is
F-Zero X
nice,
online.
though.
The thing that's probably gonna throw a wrench in it, and I'm sure that this is the case, like sadly, is that it's not gonna be like online matchmaking. Like, I don't think you can just jump into a public match of these games. It's probably gonna be you need to invite your friends to play these games multiplayer. Also, Star Fox
Yeah.
64 is on there. I forgot about that. Come on. Who doesn't want to play Star Fox 64 online?
Freaking me? Ugh.
I wanna
Really?
play it
I don't
'cause
like
I've never-
Star
You guys don't like the
Fox.
multiplayer for Star Fox?
I,
The
No.
played
graphics
it.
don't hold up. The idea is great, but when you're
Star Fox
playing in
64 is so
4K and you go back to play in 16-bit or 64 bits, it's like I remember when we played Perfect Dark and we played that on stream. I felt bad playing that because it was just
felt bad.
But that was the
I wanted to
updated
play
version.
it. I know I wanted to play it, but it looked horrible.
I felt bad.
But that's
My body
actually an
hurt.
HD-ified version of that N64 game. It looks much worse.
all
Like,
those
Body
sharp
hurting.
points and polygons and stuff. Oh man, I was like,
Yeah.
"Ugh."
And
I've
it's
never played
freaking
Star
12
Fox
frames per
64,
second.
so I wanna play it just to say I've played it because I feel
12
like it's a
frames per
classic.
second.
all right. So what else speaks to you guys here? I know first
Kirby.
is Kirby is getting its very
Kirby.
first 3D game.
Right.
I will say it looks very run of the mill. Like, it looks like every other mascot platformer in a 3D game. They didn't show me kind of what it's doing to set itself apart. And
It's
also,
Kirby.
Kirby games tend to be on the easier side, especially these later
doesn't-
ones, like not SNES ones, but
It doesn't look as polished as something like the last Mario. Was it Mario?
Odyssey.
Odyssey. Yeah, it does not look as polished as
It doesn't
Odyssey
look
though.
as polished
Yeah.
at all.
I can tell they wanted to get the Odyssey feel for it, like that actually make it legit 3D. One of my favorite games on 64, which I saw was going to be included on the online, was Kirby and the Crystal Shards or something like that.
It's not
that
there
was my-
yet, but it's an eventual ad.
Yeah, it'll be an eventual. I loved that game as a kid. It was my first Kirby game.
Yeah, I don't know if it was my first, but I remember playing a lot of that game.
What was your
Yeah.
second?
That
My
was my
second.
first and only Kirby game that I've ever played.
I was
But
just
I
curious.
really, I liked it a lot. And honestly, me and my cousins would, because there was like a game mode, like a mini game mode, and we played through that a lot. I loved it. I thought it was a very good game. It was a complete game. I never got to beat it because it was my cousin's game, so that's why I mostly came over. We played the mini games, but I did play through it, and I loved the like you could mix some of the powers. I think too, if you like got one of one
Yeah.
person, one another, so you can like stack them or whatever. You can stack 3 of the same one, and it'd be more amplified. Like I thought it was great. If they take that type of thing and they just make it akin, it doesn't have to be open world, open-esque like Mario is, or at least like you have a hub and then you go to different locations type deal. But if they just made it feel a little more open, it doesn't have to be as much as Crystal Shards, which may say you still went left to right like a like a normal platformer, but in a 3D environment, which I still thought looked nice. I would like if it was a little bit more, not just left and right. At least give me some front and back. You can still put some platforming in there. You don't want any front and back?
No.
No. Well,
I want that full 3D. That's why I'm excited.
Yeah, give me that full 3D. Yeah.
I want that. Which is what it looks like. And
Yeah, it does seem like it
In my
doesn't.
mind,
It doesn't look open though. It does look like
no.
yeah, it doesn't have to be
it's like
open,
a
but
level.
as long as it's
But yeah, you do have 3D movement.
yeah.
What was the name of that Link game, that Zelda game where you played as like the 4 different colors of Link? Was it like
Four
The
Swords?
4 swords.
four
Yeah.
swords? I had a version
British
of a
Cap.
Kirby game like that where you played as 4 different color Kirby's.
Well, no, Nintendo released a thing
Oh.
like that.
They did? I didn't just come up with that?
No, it wasn't top
They just-
down though.
Well, don't talk with your hand. Just use your words.
No, my hands accentuate
My
my words. But no. There's a Wii game which I think has 4-player co-op where you're running around with either one Kirby and a bunch of Waddle Dees or 4 Kirby's.
I mean, like,
That's oh shoot, I forget the name of it, but you're one person's Kirby and then one is the sword guy, one is Spear Waddle Dee, and one is King Dedede, I think. And it's up to 4 players.
Yeah. My son
Epic
watched a full
Yarn
playthrough of that
is
game forever ago.
oh, okay. Huh. All right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like I'm honestly lukewarm on the Kirby announcement. I love Kirby as a character, and like Ash, I played the crap out of that Crystal Shards game. Like,
Crystal
I thought
Shards.
that game was really fun.
It needs a
And
demo.
I've played a lot of the
That's all I
SNES
wanna
ones
say.
too, like not to completion, but like I've messed around with them, like on emulators in high school and stuff. But yeah, this one doesn't look like it's doing anything exciting. Like not like how the last big 3D platformer from Nintendo, which was Mario Odyssey, did. Right? Mario Odyssey
Right.
like blew my mind in terms of like what they were doing with Mario, and like this seems like a very safe bet. And they do tend to aim Kirby towards like younger audiences nowadays, so it may just be
Yeah.
a very simple platforming adventure that doesn't
Yeah.
take any risks or do anything interesting.
I still feel like it could have looked prettier. Is what I'm saying. You know.
That too.
Yeah,
I
that
do
too.
think some of the muscular. It needs a demo
Yeah.
before. Like I definitely won't buy it if I can't play a demo.
I need
definitely
to-
won't buy it.
I need to get new
Lampy
glasses or something if I think these games look fine, but I'm the only one.
Lampy and Honey Money are
I mean,
asking.
you've been playing Metroid lately, right? So you've been looking at some like
You're getting real used to that
video
retro
games.
look.
Yeah. Lampy and
It's
Honey
like, look
Money
at all these pixels.
are asking about the next Smash character. Who do we think?
Right. They did not give us a Smash reveal, but they revealed when the next Smash reveal would be.
Yeah, and you guys see when they reveal that date is.
Yeah,
it's the
Ash
same
pointed
day
this
that
out
the
in our
Nickelodeon-
Discord.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
it's the
let
same
them
day
know.
that the Nickelodeon Brawl All-Star Brawl comes out.
Oh, that's
That was on purpose. That
had to be on
there's
purpose.
No way. There's no way. They're like, nobody's gonna buy your game. They're gonna be too busy watching to just
Right.
see who's gonna be in our game. That's
Who's
how
the
more
final Smash
important we are.
character?
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
If there would have been like a big reveal during this conference, I would have thought one of the characters from one of those games would have been introduced. But there was nothing. We already have Bayonetta, so they're not going to get like Bayonetta #2, alternate reality Bayonetta. We're not going to get like another Samus from Dread or anything like that. So I'm not sure. I doubt we're going to get anybody that has anything to do with that. But at this
Anything
point,
that
it's so
was shown
hard.
in the direct,
Yeah, it's
like
so
not
hard
even
to
like a
speculate.
Monster Hunter, even.
I doubt it. If they were going to do a Monster Hunter, I thought they would have already done that. Deep down in my heart, I think it's going to be another Pokemon.
Really?
I would
Yeah.
hate that.
I'm just telling you.
But no, I do think it
I
will
still
be a
like-
first party Nintendo character. Like that's
I think it should just
that's
be
as far
Sakurai
as I
himself.
can guess.
Me
Sakurai.
Sakurai. There'll be
Like,
a
he'll be like
sword
photorealistic.
fighter,
Like he won't even look like a like a 3D representation.
Oh no,
Just-
I meant like they're gonna make a me version of him, but it's gonna be specific moves that not like a normal me sword fighter can't learn, or a specific me fighter can. It's only for Sakurai. So you go to me Sakurai and you pick which one of the three you want him to be, and you have a set move set because he's a real character, not one that you create.
Now, if we think about the first party characters or Nintendo characters that they have now announced, it was characters that already had something out. Like you have Byleth from Three Houses, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
There hasn't been a Nintendo character since then, right? No.
No, yeah, Min Min is a Nintendo character.
Oh,
But
okay,
that was
yeah,
from
Arm.
that was from
But
a
that was-
freaking
wasn't
Switch release game, which was like
Right.
there's nothing new coming out for ARM, like not even DLC. So I don't know why. Like maybe Sakurai was just giving like, you know what, we don't have anything for you to put here, so just do what you want. And he was like, Min Min, I've been waiting for this.
Hey, but Min Min's fun. I feel like that was a good
Yeah,
pick.
Min Min's great. Yeah, that was a good pick. Not something I
I'm
would have
surprised they
chosen,
didn't
but she fits
Pick the
in
actual
quite
like
well.
mascot character. That's what I was surprised about. 'Cause
Well,
she's
he's
not
in
the
there as an
mascot.
assist trophy already, so
Right.
I think he was kind of. ruled
You
out.
have the Pokemon games coming out. Diamond, was it Pearl and Diamond or something? And then you have
and then
the
Legends.
Legend of
Arceus
Arceus.
Legends, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, there's a high chance it could be a Pokemon, right? Because
Now, Hail Marys, who
with
would you
marketing.
want? If you had one pick, who would you want?
I don't know. It's too hard, man. I'm
Oh,
leaning
oh,
towards.
that's easy.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, Chad,
Honestly,
shoot it.
If I could pick one, it would be Waluigi, hands down.
Oh, okay.
Like
think that-
absolutely. Look, it's a first party
internet would go
Nintendo
crazy.
character. Yeah, it's been snubbed. Has a great, very enthusiastic fan base, and would be awesome. That would be my actual pick. My
I
friend
disagree
Blake
on the
thinks
last
it might
point,
be-
but I do think you're onto something.
My friend Blake thinks that it might be Marks, which is one of the final bosses, and that would be a really fun. It's from Kirby. It's like got
Oh.
MARX. Yeah, that would be a pretty sweet fighter. I feel like. And
So, I mean, yeah, those do seem possible because, like, if Sakurai is being left to his own devices, like, maybe he will want to pay more homage to the Kirby franchise. And maybe he will want to answer all the screaming children asking for Waluigi. So, those could work. I can see it.
There are a few screaming children who want Waluigi, and they're terrible, and we should all ignore them, and that's fine. But there are plenty of level-headed Waluigi cosplayers who want to see their big lanky boy in Smash.
Just get a game and something. He has nothing. But
yeah,
to go off of Jesse, like, because a lot of people like there have been polls online like, who do you want? People say they want Sora or they want freaking Master
Disney
Chief.
said no.
Apparently.
Wait, who would you want? You didn't give us your Hail Mary pick. Who would you want?
I really don't care. I have no idea. I like seeing who they come up with, less of me giving ideas. I just like to see who the heck are they going to put in now? They're like, we're putting him. Oh my God, what? That's what I like that part.
What about you?
Like, I would want another Zelda rep, like from the world of Zelda.
I wouldn't mind a Gorgon.
You got enough.
I mean that's
so many.
I mean there are enough. You're right. There are enough. But
Wait, so which
this
one?
is my pick. This is what I want.
Yeah, that's true.
Demise. You want Demise and Smash?
I want
Wolf
Link. I want Wolf Link. That's what I want from
okay,
Twilight
cool.
Princess.
Oh,
or
okay.
But it would be so similar to Duck Hunt though, because like Midna rides him all the time.
Yeah,
what about
it'd be a Duck Hunt basically.
just say Okami slash.
I get behind that too.
Yeah.
But that, I mean, it's not a first party
from
Nintendo character, so I feel like it would never happen. But I would have loved to see a Matarasu in there.
My Hail Mary pick, if I could have anyone in there, would be Ryu Hayabusa. Yeah.
You should at least say his last name right if that's what you want.
Hayabusa.
Hayabusa.
His boots are too low. We need higher boots.
I love those higher boots. That's the best kind. The higher the boots, the better.
That would be my number one pick. Number one pick.
Okay, another ninja. Gotcha.
What do we got? More ninjas?
Yeah, Sheik is a ninja.
Sheik's not a ninja.
Sheik is absolutely a ninja.
Is absolutely
Greninja
not
is a ninja too.
Greninja's a ninja. It's right in the name.
Not, just because you throw a water shuriken does not make him a ninja. He ain't got no swords.
I'm sorry. There's like actual Naruto characters who throw water shuriken.
He does substitution jutsu. He legit does substitution jutsu. There is a log where
the absolute ninja.
The ninja of all ninjas is real. Let's just be real.
But
I don't.
There's also like assist trophy ninjas. So, but we won't go into that.
Yeah. I just think it'd be the easiest cop out is Waluigi, just because like somebody's gonna be mad at the end of the day, right? When it's not their character that they want.
If he's different enough from everyone else, I wouldn't be mad at that. If he's different enough.
If he's different enough.
Yeah.
What do they definitely be different set off of? Is my question. Like, what would they base his moveset off of?
I think it should be a mixture of like. I don't know.
He'd be like a rep for all the sports games, right? Because that's where he was born, and that's kind of where he exists.
So many different sports-based moves.
He can do
like
a
his forward smash
super
is like
strikers.
him. Yes, kick it as the soccer ball.
He's not even in a new Mario Golf, is he? I'm pretty sure he's not there at all.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he is.
Okay, I was gonna say
that's his domain. That's where he thrives. Is playing
sports.
I
use my me, so that guy. I use my me, so. But all right, but yeah, no, I think it would be the easiest cop out. I feel like even people are like, oh, I really wanted Sora or whatever and stuff. They'll just be like, oh, Waluigi, yeah, they'll just be like, I can accept Waluigi being the last character. I feel like more people will be accepted.
I don't know if the Sora crowd has a cross section with the Waluigi crowd. I think those are two different groups.
Like when you might not care about something, but you see a bunch of people asking for something, and then you're like, oh, I'm happy you guys got what you got. Like that, I'm that type of feeling. Because like I never personally cared if Waluigi was in Smash or not. I don't hate Waluigi, but I also don't love him. I have no need to care
that's
about
that's kind of how I feel. Like I'm ambivalent to Waluigi. It's Wario. I have a personal vendetta against. But Waluigi, take him or leave him. I still would want something better as a final Smash character, but I can see why he would fit that bill. Yeah.
and I'd be like, you know what? I'm happy you guys got it. That's what I feel like would happen. They wouldn't be in an uproar. They'd just be like, all right, he got his thing. That's fine. That's what I think people would. And if that
Joy in the chat said Toe Jam and Earl.
Mm-hmm.
No.
I don't think that's horrible.
Dang.
It's not horrible.
Straight face head shake.
I wouldn't have any reaction. I'd be like, like
cut off
what?
the stream.
Toe Jam and Earl have a game, like a new game coming out soon, or has come out soon?
It came out a while ago. It came out a while ago.
No, like the new one, whatever the latest one is.
Yeah, it came out a while ago.
A while ago? All right.
Yeah.
But like, how is that doing numbers? Did anybody here play the latest Toe Jam and Earl game?
I don't know what Toe Jam and Earl is.
There you go.
I don't know what that
Thank
is.
Thank you. And you
I don't
shouldn't.
think it's gonna be.
It's like from like 90s gross out humor, like when everything made for boys had to be really gross. Like instead of giving boys easy bake ovens, they had to put bugs in it because they thought like that'll sell to kids. Like
I remember those.
That's where they're from.
I remember.
I came out in 2018. Was Toe Jam and Earl back in the groove?
Yeah. So 2018 is their most recent game. Nobody cares about it.
And it was a remake, wasn't it?
Yeah, I got a 7 out of 10.
It was a remake. I thought it was like a new one.
It was like a new one. It was like a 3D one, I think. Let me play the trailer.
Oh, I didn't know that. I gotta look at it now.
Lampy's spreading lies in the chat. It says Casey did lose 3-2 to Waluigi and Wario yesterday at sports games. No, we tied the score. Me and Adam. It was
Adam
2-2.
He spanked them. He said, "Daddy, now get in there and make me a sandwich."
Get in there, make me a sandwich.
Anyway, any other Nintendo announcements from this thing that we want to bring to light before we close up shop?
They did just get in the Sega Genesis that does games on there. It could have something to do with that. Fast said Earthworm Jim. I wouldn't be mad at Earthworm Jim. But that does give a good thing. They just got the Sega Genesis games on there. That could be kind of a
their tie into people in that service.
Right.
Man, yeah, but who in the last, born in the last 20 years cares about or even knows who Earthworm Jim is?
I didn't know who he was.
That's exactly how I feel about Toe Jam and Earl. Like
a lot of people who didn't know who Banjo was. Like, I mean, like after
that makes me sad.
Yeah, a lot of people like.
Are you sure a lot of people didn't know who Banjo was?
I mean, like younger kids, like teens and.
Well, they shouldn't be playing Smash anyway. I said it.
I'm just saying, you heard it first. Casey doesn't want teens playing Smash.
Like Smash is a celebration of video game history. Like that's
they should go play Call of Duty.
Like that's like if this I keep saying Nintendo, this Nickelodeon Smash clone. If that comes out and people who didn't grow up watching Nickelodeon are talking about the characters, like why? Like yes, SpongeBob exists today, but like. They wouldn't know who Cat Dog is. They wouldn't know who freaking like it's based on the history. So go pay attention
from
to the history.
Real Monsters.
Right, exactly. Those are classic cartoons. Yeah, they didn't say anything about Doug characters in that game. I don't think there's any Doug representation.
No Quail Man, no Pork Chop.
You know who should be in there? Ginger from As Told by Ginger. Yeah, put her in there.
Do it.
That just sounds hilarious to me. Just put her in there.
It'd be so stupid. Do it.
No David Deneau.
So stupid. Do it.
I don't understand a word you just said.
What?
Really? You're not following the roster for the Smash clone? That's the Nintendo All-Stars Brawl coming out?
I am super interested, but no, I have not been following the roster.
No, you haven't seen it. Go look up footage and see what the characters they put in there. They got Ninja Turtles in there, April O'Neil, they got Cat Dog, Our Monsters.
Yep.
They got newer cartoons too, like the Loud House characters are in there. That show's not
bad.
They got
Keenan and Kel both in there.
They don't.
Yes, they do.
That'd be great.
They do not have Keenan and Kel in that show.
Lies.
I would be so happy.
That would be all that.
Yeah.
They got Nigel Thornberry in there.
Nick Cannon would have to be in if all that characters.
Oh, Lori Beth Denberg is my main. All right. I guess that's gonna do it for what movie?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we didn't talk about the movie. Yeah, they announced the casting for the Super Mario Brothers movie from Illumination Studios. We were joking about it all yesterday on game night.
Yeah,
what do you guys? What do you guys' reaction to the casting choices? We'll go into that and then we'll
Jesse,
wrap
I
things
want
up.
Jesse to go first.
Big money behind it.
Thanks, Ash. Just
You're welcome.
put my pain in the forefront.
Yes.
I mean, they're a studio. They'll make money, whatever. But like Chris Pratt as Mario, what did Chris Pratt do that someone
Lego
was like,
movie.
yeah, he'd make a good Mario?
The Lego movie. They saw how much money
That's
it made.
it?
And yeah, that's it. Like those are people who are behind this. Like one of the two writers of the Lego movie, I believe, is writing the Mario movie. And then Illumination is like a big studio who chases animation movies for the money, I want to say, and not for the quality of the storytelling, because most of their movies suck. Which is why I was very disturbed to hear that they were the ones behind the Mario picture.
Yeah,
But yeah, this cast just screams money. We want to throw money and star power at this.
Yeah, not talent, money. Because like I mean, if people, and I know a lot of people are talking about like, well, he's funny in Parks and Rec, and that's fine. I don't like Parks and Rec, and I don't like any of the clips I've seen of it. And I find Chris Pratt both boring when he's not being funny and not funny when he's trying to be funny. So there is zero appeal for me. Charlie Day, I can at least understand because he is cartoonish, even though I also don't find him funny and I don't enjoy him in anything I've seen him in.
Okay.
Even though I liked, what was it? What was the hotel movie with the assassins that he was in?
Oh, was that movie with Common?
Shoot,
Aces
maybe.
or something? Aces?
Hotel Artemis, thank you.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah.
Because he's in that. And like, I didn't like him in that movie, but that's a great movie. He's in Pacific Rim. Love that movie. Still didn't like him in that movie. I can't deal with him in Always Sunny. It's just him up to 11. But it's just a slightly toned down version of him and everything else. So I don't want to see that as Luigi.
You can tell they're going for a comedic thing for this movie based off of the casting. Like, well, who else was like Charlie Day, Seth Rogen, like
Seth Rogen for Donkey Kong is kind of an inspired choice. Like his voice weirdly fits Donkey Kong in a way that you don't think of until you put those two things together.
Yeah. But it's just funny because I'm just like, the fact that I'm like, you can definitely tell they're going for some sort of definite comedic aspect in this movie. If they don't, it'd be weird to me. You know what I'm saying? You got too many people who are involved in a lot of like, even if the like overall theme of what they're in isn't like meant to be a comedy, they're usually there for comedic stuff anyway. Even in, like Jurassic Park, the original ones, right? The way that they worked in the comedy, either they had an obvious comedic character or they worked it in, but it still felt like, for the most part, natural, at least when the movies came out. But when it comes to like Chris Pratt in like Jurassic World, where he's being more funny than you, like, or in Jesse's case, whatever you feel like, but he's, trying to do comedic stuff throughout moments where it's like, okay, you're being a little extra right now for your one-liner. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I was like, with them and him and Seth Rogen, I'm like, I really feel like they're trying to go for a more so comedic approach. But my main thing is for people who get, and Jack Black, because he's in it too, right?
Yeah, he's Bowser.
So there's no way they don't want there to be a decent amount of comedic moments in this, in my opinion, with these four voice actors. But for people who are upset that Chris Pratt is an Italian and he's voicing Mario, I'm like, a white man does Mario's voice in the game, so I don't really think this matters that much. I know he does accents. I know he's a voice actor.
Italian?
Yeah, to my knowledge, he is not. I think he's French.
Well, number one, Jack Black's not draconian, so how is he doing? It doesn't check out for me. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't work.
It's not a turtle wizard warlock.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, how is he voicing him? That just doesn't check out for me.
Confirm Chris Martinet is of French descent. He does speak fluent French and Spanish. And has obviously a knack for accents and dialects. But he's still not Italian, so
Yeah, I feel that like Mario is as much Italian as pizza. Right. Like it's not really
as Pizza Hut, I think is.
Yeah, pretty much. Like it's a construct. Like it's the idea.
Mario is New York
Italian,
Italian, not Italy Italian. You know what I'm saying? Like there is a difference. You know, there is a difference. He's New York Italian, not Italy Italian.
They went with all the star power to help push the movie. I think that's the biggest reason why they went with all.
But
these...
do they need a push?
Agreed.
It's Mario though. Like
They don't. That's the thing. They don't
Mario's
need that push.
a bigger name.
They don't
than any
care
of them,
about
in
the
my
property. Like that's why I was hesitant about Illumination being attached to this project, because they don't care about the property. They care about the money the property will bring them. That's why you have like 8 Minions movies, because they did one that sold a bunch for whatever reason. I think that movie is terrible, but because it sold a bunch, they kept making them because it makes money. They want franchises. Mario's a franchise that they can turn into a thing, so they just threw all this star power at it to get
Nintendo
that
thing.
out.
That was more so a Nintendo thing than Illumination. Because if you check out most of their work, it doesn't have that many really stars behind it. So
who Illumination or Nintendo?
As Illumination, they don't have as many people as they
Yeah,
have
they
in
do.
this. Like nowhere near as many people.
Illumination always. Are you kidding me? Illumination casts A-list actors for like all their voice roles.
No, they don't. Did you see
okay, let's,
Secret Life of
I did see the Secret Life of Pets. Let's look up the cast for the Secret Life of Pets.
Cast for Secret Life.
Jeff Goldblum.
Please tell me that you don't recognize pretty much everybody on this cast list.
No.
No? You don't know who Kevin Hart is, Jeff?
Kevin Hart.
You not heard of Patton Oswalt? Tiffany Haddish doesn't ring a bell. Dana Carvey? No. Bobby Moynihan? These names not ringing a bell? Ellie Kemper?
He's lying on at least 2 of them. At least 2 of them.
Kevin Hart, yes. I don't know who most of these people.
You know who Tiffany Haddish is.
Don't know who Louis C.K. is.
That's a lie. You're lying. You know who Louis C.K. is?
Nope. Who's
all right? I think we just proved this.
Hannibal Buress.
Can I add one more thing that hopefully helps you out, Casey? The directors, I just actually looked into the directors for the movie just to see who they were, what they've worked on, at least to try to get an idea.
Right.
One of them, he was a part of like Teen Titans Go, both the TV show and the film.
Oh, Kyrie Payton?
Aaron Horvath is his name. He made his directional debut was on Teen Titans Go to the movies. He directed that.
Oh, he's behind this one, the Mario movie?
He's one of the 2 like head directors. The other one is Michael Jelenic, who has been a part of
He's also from
TV
Teen
shows.
Titans.
Yeah, he's from Teen Titans. He was a part of some of the straight to like home video type stuff, so like Batman versus Two-Face and Scooby-Doo and Batman: The Brave and the Bold. But more importantly, he was a part of Jackie Chan Adventures. He was a part of Ben 10, Batman: The Brave and the Bold, the 2011 Thundercats, and Teen Titans Go. So they're definitely at least like a credit for people who would make stuff for like a child audience at least. So I'm hoping they don't just maybe they will. Obviously, you want like the family. It'll probably be like more of a family film. I'm assuming, not like a
weirdly enough,
film.
that gives me a lot more faith in this project, knowing that the Teen Titans Go guys are behind this, because they actually do care about the stuff that they do.
I worry about Casey's taste because he didn't like Sing. So that's another issue.
I just want to direct everyone to the chat where they're all calling Jeff liars, because this is another example of that.
You didn't say you didn't like Sing? Did you not say that?
No, Sing. I've said Sing is the only Illumination movie that I did like. It's the only one that's good.
Are you excited for Sing 2 this December?
Yes, actually. I want to see Sing.
That was
2.
a lie. That was a clear, blatant lie. And it was
how's that a lie? Like Sing 2, I'm on board for. I don't know if it'll be good, but I'll see it because Sing 1 was actually good. I liked it. But everything else Illumination has made that I'm aware of is trash. Secret Life of Pets, trash. All the Minions movies, trash.
Think it was trash.
What else? What else did they come out with? Let's look at the before we get off. Let's look at the Illumination
was trash.
Movie.
I thought Hop was trash. So I'll give you that. Yeah, Hop with the Easter Bunny thing. But they made the
I didn't
Lorax.
even see that. But yeah, that sounds like
they
trash.
made the
Lorax is good. The Lorax
the
is
Lorax?
good.
Okay, the Lorax isn't bad.
And that was
that one's
the
not
Lorax was based. See, and they made something based off of already made IP and already created work, and it came out fine. So
okay, that's a good point. That is a good point. That wasn't their original things. What happened?
They made the newest Grinch movie, the one with
they did.
Jack, and that was really good.
Was that okay? Well, again, that's back to Ash's point. that's a property that existed that they adapted.
So
So
I'm
that's a
hoping-
better track record than their original stuff.
They made it better though.
Did they make it better? Come on.
Better than the animated Grinch cartoon from like the
1960s. It'd
Right.
probably be better easily in my mind as long as they don't. They really.
Right.
I've not seen it, so I don't know. But that
The
is a
music
classic.
in that
Like
was-
that's a classic animated movie that you're claiming
It is.
Illumination did better
and
right now. That's a
changed the
very
story. They
that's a
changed
very
the
high praise to
story.
try to give it right now.
They changed the story. It wasn't just that they did it better. The animation obviously was supposed to be way
I mean,
better.
it's newer. So
The
next
music-
Christmas, they're gonna delete the original Grinch That Stole Christmas from all the airwaves, and they're gonna replace it with this one. That's what you're saying. Going
Yes.
forward, this is the new
Definitely.
Grinch
I mean,
That Stole
do me a
Christmas.
favor. Do me a favor. Do me a favor. Watch this one and tell me it's not.
I will
it's
watch
not
it. I'll
top
watch it.
tier. It's not top
I do
tier.
think overall you'll enjoy it. Probably.
I'll
more
watch
than
it.
the
I will get
classic.
back to you on it.
But the
As-
classic is a classic for a reason, though. Obviously, like I'll still watch the classic.
Let's be real. The classic #1 wasn't that good. Besides, the voice. James Earl Jones was doing the.
That's not true. What are you saying right now?
Yes. he was doing the song. Why does
All right.
got on plaid pajama pants?
What pattern is on your pajama pants? I thought that was standard issue. But anyway, let's wrap this up. This has gone
wrap
way
this
too
up.
far off
Man,
the rails.
Man, wow. Oh, Ban Jeff, I got it. Let me drop the emote.
Ash, where can people find you? What are you getting up to this week?
Woo! Sorry, I had to ban Jeff. Don't worry, guys. I'll make his head bigger later, so it's like more easily to be able to tell it's Jeff. But that's him. It's a good image.
You need to fix the red thing too. It's too light. The lines are too light.
Okay, I got you. I'll work on it. That's right, Spaz. You drop him in there too. Spaz sub last stream, so he got access. What am I getting into this week? Geez, where am I getting into this week? I'm going to be playing. What was it? What did I have playing for this week? More Tales of the Rise, and more Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Technically, there's no Phoenix Wright because I'm like in the past in Meiji era now, the 1800s or something like that. Yeah, he's not born yet. It's his ancestor though, and honestly, I like it a lot. I was really enjoying playing it through. I was playing through Akiba though, and I didn't want to keep going without him, but he doesn't have as much time during the evening to try to play it, so I just have to keep going and solo voice act the characters by myself. And my throat is going to hurt, but it's okay.
All right, well,
I do what I got to do.
To that. How about you, Jesse? What are you getting into this week?
Oh man, I am back from being away for a week, so I'll actually be streaming this week, starting tomorrow. So 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern time, I'll start streaming. I'll do the same thing Tuesday. Got Thursday night coming up, and I need to hopefully play some spooky games, extra stuff for October.
Yeah.
And then I also need to start playing some sort of Souls game to get ready for Darkfall in December, and then Elden Ring in January.
Oh,
Yes.
I can't wait for that.
Nice.
That's
Does that
how
wrap
you
things
do
up
that.
for
So
you?
you can check me out there on twitch.tv/RexConJesse. Also on Twitter, which is just RexConJesse.
Nice.
see it.
How about you, Jeff? What are you getting into this week that you want folks to check out?
This week, check out me and KC going 1v1 in Dark Souls 3 again.
Ooh.
We played some time back when I used to play Dark Souls pretty regularly, and I'm not going to say I whooped him, but I'm not going to say he didn't get whooped.
Yes.
You're
I
not
have
going to tell a bullface lie? Weird.
I have the videos if you want to see. But so, trying to get back in some of that this week. Tomorrow's Monday. We're going to do some Siege. Depending on the turnout. But I'm thinking about doing some Rogue Company. That was a lot of fun yesterday. I forgot how much fun Rogue Company was. So maybe around 7 p.m. or so. And then this week, by Thursday, it's been a little bit rough. I've been working 6 days. So this Thursday, I'm trying not to go to work. We'll see how that goes. And probably some Guardian Thursdays. We've been doing private matches. We did it last Thursday, but we did it off stream. We did it just for some of the members of the Discord because times were a little iffy, so I didn't want to start a stream at 7 o'clock and everybody shows up at 8:30. And yeah, so we might do some Guardian Thursdays. And yeah, that's it.
Anybody want to do
Nice.
Among Us sometime this week? Anybody interested in some Among Us?
I'm
Anybody?
kind of over Among Us, if I'm being honest.
I mean, when was the last time you played? Come on.
Like a month ago?
Have you played
Oh,
Push the
wow,
Button?
Okay. I didn't know you played that soon. I haven't
No,
played
I've
in
not
a
even
while.
heard of Push the Button.
Ash, have you played Push the Button?
I know of it, but I've not played it. No.
Oh, okay. If you want to play Among Us, but people don't want to play Among Us because they want to play a better game, you should
Oh.
get Jackbox 7 and play Push the Button.
Push the button. I'll play that.
It's a fun game.
Okay.
All right, yeah, we'll keep that in mind. You can find me at SigmaGears9 on Twitch as well as Twitter. Join me later this afternoon for Super Smash Sunday on the Open Party channel. You should follow there as well if you're not already. That's where we do our 1v1 Smash good times, etc. Check for my latest review on the Escapist YouTube and website for what the hell was the name of that game? Flynn, Son of Crimson. It was a good time. I think I'm actually going to be starting up the Friday streams with Marty where we play through Dead Space. Well, I play through Dead Space, and Marty, who has played through all of them and loves that series, is kind of going to be coaching me. And I believe that starts this Friday after Nick and Amy's stream. So like Nick and Amy will continue their Halo playthroughs, and then Marty and I will come on with our Dead Space stuff. So tune into that this week. Should be a lot of fun. Thanks so much, everybody in the chat, for joining us today. Thanks to my 3 co-hosts.
Yes.
See you next time. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody.
Awkward goodbyes. And